Kaylin.
Hi,
Good to see you again. Go ahead and have a seat. Well, thanks for coming back.
Yes. I was looking forward to this day all week.
Well, that's great. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Couple things I need to go over quickly. Just limits of confidentiality. Our sessions are completely confidential except for a couple of areas. So if you are a danger to yourself or to others, I have to report that. If there's any sexual, physical abuse or neglect of minors, vulnerable adults, or the elderly, I have to report that. And if I get subpoenaed, if your records get subpoenaed. Are you okay with that? Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. So the last time that we met, we had talked about your anxiety and your bad grades and how you thought, that really had to do with maybe some fear of not being good enough. Mm-hmm. And that kind of created that angst in you, and it kind of trickled into a lot of areas of your life.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we had talked about doing some homework, which was for you to maybe write down your thoughts while you're feeling that anxiety, and then the outcome. And have you done that at all?
I brought it with me.
Okay, and you were gonna, I was gonna have you make this too.
Thank you for the email, the reminder, that helped too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell me, maybe go over that just a little while with me?
Yeah, I do, and I wanted to show you too. Here is one of my tech lists that I have completed everything on. So,
excellent.
Yeah, I kept that on the other side of my list of all the times that I felt anxious, what I was thinking, and then how it turned out.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 3 of them, so we'll just start with one at a time. The first one, I was in the classroom setting, and I know my material really well, and I raised my hand for volunteering an answer, and then as soon as I raised my hand, I started to get, my nervous feeling, and I felt like the moment I opened my mouth, my voice was going to be shaky, and I thought that, everybody's going to know it because they hear me talk and know what's normal. I know what's normal, but I also feel like everybody else hears that shakiness in my voice. And I was really fearful of forgetting what to say. And at that point, I had raised my hand, put myself out on the line, and was volunteering information. And the thought of not remembering what I wanted to say once it was my turn brought a lot of embarrassed feelings up front. And then I was also, what if I'm wrong? And I don't want to look incompetent to my classmates, so I was really then afraid of maybe somebody politely saying, well, yeah, but, and correcting me. And what surprised me is the way that it turned out is one of my classmates actually was like, yeah, and they were able to piggyback off of what I said, and it created about a 10-minute conversation within the classroom. And I guess I get so anxious and feeling those first feelings that I never follow through and realize that, yes, I'm feeling this way, but others aren't judging me the way that I maybe thought that they were once.
Yeah, that's great. That's some great progress then.
Yeah.
Great.
You ready to hear the second one?
I'm ready.
The second one, I was out with my friends, so this is a little more casual. I wanted to get a good area of different areas of where I've been affected.
Very good. That's really insightful of you.
Thank you. And then, so when I was out to eat with my friends, I kept thinking that my friends are going to be annoyed with me if they have to wait for me to order, if I'm looking at the menu longer. With all this anxiety that I've been feeling making decisions, it seems to be really hard too. And so I'm really worried about that I'm going to be the last one to order and that they're going to, come on, let's go, because they're going to be hungry. And then also, the way that I order, sometimes I always feel like maybe my friends they judge me and think that I'm really weird in the way I order. I kind of make it difficult for waitresses. I always, for example, I wanted the California burger, but I don't want hamburger. I wanted chicken strips on it, breaded, crunchy chicken strips, and I wanted all the veggies on it, but I also wanted bacon. So I really kind of take something from the menu and kind of create my own, and then I'm always worried about how I'm going to be viewed by my friends after that, and I feel that I'm going to be like embarrassed that they're going to be like, you're so weird, Kaylin, and I really worry about that.
Sounds like you have quite a fear of what your friends will think of you. Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep, and that's
Okay.
exactly it. And my friends' opinions are really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big concern to me.
Well, tell me how it turned out.
And it turned out fine. The waitress enjoyed our table, and we had a really good night. And then after dinner, we hung out further down at my friend's place. And I never asked them what they were feeling, but I'm assuming that I don't know what they're feeling, but I'm assuming that they don't care how I order my food. I mean,
Well, they chose you as their friend for a reason, right?
yeah, and I'm starting to see that. Yeah, maybe they like that I order funny. Who knows?
Maybe that's one quality about you that they love, and maybe you should love too.
Maybe I should start writing things I like about myself.
That could be quite beneficial.
Yeah, then maybe that'll bring that in for next week. And then my other anxiety event, I was babysitting this week, and so I took the kids to the pool, and it was a lot of added stress because I had a lot of extra bodies to take care of. And so I was worried about not supervising the kids well enough, that something's going to happen. There's lifeguards there, but I'm still worried, and they're my responsibility. And I'm also, the whole way I'm there, I'm like, okay, do I have the money to get in and the snack money? Do I have sunscreen? What if, their sunscreen wears off and then they get burned? And I'm also worried about how other people looked at me in my swimsuit. I mean, I feel like that might actually be pretty normal, but I'm wondering, I feel like everybody's watching me when I'm walking around the pool and judging me, and then I started to feel uncomfortable and exposed, and again, I mean, once I got there, I was having so much fun playing in the pool with the kids that I didn't notice how uncomfortable I was feeling at the time. They're so energetic, so fun, and love being in the pool with me. So, I mean, they made it a lot better too.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking that you're noticing kind of the shift in your thinking.
Yeah.
So you're not just focused on the anxiety, you're noticing that it goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good.
Which I didn't feel before. I felt like it was never going to end. I felt like I was just drudging through it. I was so focused on all the negatives.
Have you noticed any other changes between last week and this week beyond the homework that I've given you?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I started to do the checklist, and you were right. Checking those things off the checklist, I felt like I'm making progress, that I'm actually getting somewhere, and I'm not just digging myself deeper into a hole. And so I kept a to-do list all week, and a couple of times I had to rewrite it once I started getting my thing, because that was another thing that kind of bothered me, is once it started getting all messed up, I wanted to make a new one that looked clean and neat. And so then, I mean, the checklist did help in a way, but then it also didn't in the way that I was then worried about how the checklist looked.
Well, that still shows that you're doing something and making progress, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're making progress on your previous to-do list.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's a positive thing.
And this may be silly, but I would even write some of the really simple things on there, even though you're going to do them anyways. Like, for example, like taking a shower. Silly things like that I would put on there, because then it's like, it was almost like time managing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, sounds like you did a wonderful thing. You utilized the homework, you made your lists, and you went from being anxious about feeling like you had all these things to do to realizing, got that one done, got that one done, like a sense of productivity.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed a change with your homework? Have you been able to do more homework?
Yeah, it's been going easier, and like I said, I think having my classmates piggyback and agree with what I was saying in class really gave me like a strength to do my homework for the week. I do still have some homework on my to-do list. It's still not checked off on my box yet.
That might be there as long as you're in school.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Well, it sounds like you're making some good progress. You're feeling good about what happened in class. you kind of broke that barrier for yourself a bit. And at home, everything else seems to be kind of shifting the other way, where you're noticing that you're able to accomplish things and you're noticing the good parts. And I think that would be a very good homework assignment for next week, is to notice the positive attributes about yourself, along with continue to make your lists and to continue to notice those anxiety times, the thoughts, and then the outcome with it. Because you might notice that they will get less and less and less. That's something that you might notice.
Oh, good. Yeah, and I noticed too that in my list I didn't write down any times where the outcome wasn't, what I would expect. And I'm wondering if it's because I ignored some of the other experiences that I didn't feel so good about.
Could be.
Yeah, so I think I definitely want to keep doing this. And then there was one other issue that I wanted to talk about that came up between this week and last week. So my sister, she's young, she's just about to go off to college, and she had told me in private, in confidence with me, that she's pregnant and she doesn't want me to tell my mom. And so now it's hard for me to be around my mom, and me and my mom have always had a pretty close relationship, and I feel like she might notice that I'm kind of avoiding her, and so our relationship between this week and last week has really become estranged, and I don't really know what to do about it. I mean, can I really do anything about it? I mean, it's not my thing to tell, so I just...
It sounds like you're kind of feeling anxious again about, you're kind of feeling stuck in a situation that's really not your situation. You feel stuck between, being loyal to your sister and maybe wanting to tell your mom to keep that close relationship with your mom.
Exactly. So basically, it's like I'm having to choose relationships. Either I'm choosing to be close with my sister, or I'm choosing to be close with my mom. I don't know. It's just so tough, and I don't know either what to tell my sister. She's asking for advice too. I don't know, how to tell mom, and I feel for her in her position too, and then she's going to school too, so then she has to make a decision, school and baby, or baby, and yeah, I've definitely been stressing about that this week.
Well, that's something that you could try to talk to your sister about, maybe. That she's kind of put you in quite a pickle there.
In a hard spot, yeah, and sometimes I wonder if my sister has thought about the ways in which that this is affecting the whole family and not just her. And I think that's what I'm starting to realize too. And that's why I'm glad I came in, to talk to you about the anxiety that I've been having, because I'm really starting to realize that if I'm anxious, it's not only affecting me, it's affecting my family. And since we've met last week too, I've also had, I was seeing a new guy that I had told you about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I had told you, we had talked about how uncomfortable I had felt spending more time with him, because I don't want him to see me during a panic attack. And from this week to last week, instead of seeing him once this week, I seen him twice this week. So
Very good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
Did it go well?
It went really well. It went well for me. I hope it went well for him. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks of me, but I can't read everybody. I can't read his mind, so.
That is true. You can't. We'll see if you can maybe spend some more time with him, and once again noticing that anxiety, the thoughts during anxiety, and then the actual outcome, and see where that takes you. So are we good on the homework then? You're gonna keep making your lists, you're gonna notice the thoughts, and you're gonna write down some positive things about yourself that you notice throughout the week.
Yes.
And see how that maybe changes things.
Yes. All right, I will do that, and I look forward to seeing you next week then.
Yeah, you go ahead and set up an appointment, and I'll see you next week.
All right, thank you, Liz.
Thank you.